I'm Justin.
I'm Travis.
Welcome to Wrestling Junkie. So for today's video, we got Money in the Bank 2022 predictions video. I think this card on paper should be pretty good. Obviously, both Money in the Banks are going to be pretty solid. We got the tag team belts on the line. We got the United States belt on the line. Both women's champions belts on the line. So, yeah, I think this will be a solid card. Anything you want to add before we get to the video?
Yeah, I'm excited for both of the Money in the Bank matches. I'm also excited to see the Usos. I love watching the Usos. Yeah, I think we could just jump straight into it.
Yeah, so for our first match, we have Bianca Belair versus Carmella for the Raw Women's Championship. I think for this one, I'm going to go with Bianca. I think they're just going to keep the belt on her for a little while longer. Probably not for a little while longer, probably for a decent amount of time. But Chad, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Bianca too. I just don't see them giving the belt to Carmella, really. I think Bianca deserves to keep the belt for a while longer.
Definitely.
She's definitely a better wrestler than Carmella, more entertaining to watch. But yeah, I also have another prediction that I'm going to make, but I'll wait till we get to that part of the video.
Alrighty. But for our next one, we're going to do the SmackDown Women's Championship with Ronda Rousey versus Natalya. For this one, I'm going to say we have another retaining, and Ronda Rousey's going to win.
I think I'm going to go Natalya, actually, just because I just think that Natalya kind of deserves it. They're both fan favorites. It's kind of like who's going to submit who. That's kind of like the story that has kind of been between these two. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go Natalya.
Yeah, I think with this, I wouldn't be surprised if they have Natalya win, because obviously, if you haven't been keeping up, it's who has a stronger finisher. You have Ronda Rousey's armbar versus Natalya's sharpshooter, not only Natalya's, but Heart Foundation. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they let her win, just because, I mean, sharpshooter is one of the most iconic moves, I would say, in wrestling. So I wouldn't be surprised if Natalya wins, but I think Ronda Rousey should retain the belt for this match. Now for our next match, we have Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. I think Bobby's going to win this one. But also, saying that, I wouldn't be surprised if they had Theory win. Bobby has also been kind of hinting towards he wants to get back into that main title picture. A few times after he wins matches, if there's a fan with the Universal belt out in the stands, he'll grab it and kind of like show off with it. So I'd be surprised if they let him lose. But yeah, I think Bobby with a new championship.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I just want Bobby to win more than anything. Like you said, I think Theory could obviously keep the belt, but I hope Bobby wins. I want Bobby to win, and I think he will win.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason why I think Theory could win is if they just want to keep the belt on him, kind of be. I won't be surprised if they let him be the longest reigning United States champion of all time. But I think whoever loses this match will probably get pushed a little bit more. So I wouldn't be surprised if Theory gets pushed before Bobby or vice versa. But for our next match, we have the Usos versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford on the Street Profits, Jay and Jimmy Uso of the Usos. That's for the undisputed tag team champions. Obviously, Jay and Jimmy have both Raw and SmackDown. My heart wants to go with the Street Profits, probably my favorite tag team in the WWE. But I think they're going to keep the bloodline strong, and they're going to keep the belt on the Usos.
Yeah, I'm going to agree once again. I just love the Usos. I think they are probably the best wrestling tag team, just like all around just wrestlers. I think they're just the best. I think they're just the best tag team, period. Even throughout AEW, I think they're just the best and my favorite. So maybe a little bit of bias going on, but yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Usos as well.
Yeah, this is one where I think could also determine how at SummerSlam, obviously that's at the end of the month, but I think if the Usos were to lose this match and the belt get put on the Street Profits, it could also mean that Brock beats Roman at SummerSlam, but for the reason why I don't think they're going to keep the bloodline strong, they're going to keep on the Usos. So for our next match, we have Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch in the women's Money in the Bank match. For this, I think there's probably 3 people who have a real chance of winning the Money in the Bank. That being Becky Lynch, Asuka, and Liv Morgan. I think Becky Lynch, her storyline right now is just her trying to get that comeback moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if she wins. Asuka, just because, I mean, she's a fan favorite. Probably one of the best women's wrestlers, not only in WWE, but probably in a lot of promotions. And then Liv Morgan's probably one of my favorite women's superstars right now. She's pretty solid. But I am going to go for Becky Lynch to win it. And also, wouldn't be surprised if she cashes in the same night, depending on if Bianca Belair is a main event, which we don't really know yet. What about you?
I was actually going to say a similar thing. I think Asuka's going to win, but I think she's going to cash in, because honestly, I think the Bianca Belair and Carmella match, it could be like a squash type match where Bianca kind of like beats her fairly quickly. And if that does happen, I do think Asuka will cash in. And if she does cash in, I think she'll win the cash in as well and become the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, I think with this, honestly, I think people like Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Lacey Evans, and Alexa Bliss, they have a reason to win. But I think Becky and Asuka are probably the 2 most, not to say obvious, but it's probably the most reasonable people to win. But yeah, I think Asuka, like I said, Asuka and Becky Lynch will probably be one of the 2 winners. Will be one of those 2. So
yeah, I think I'm similar to you, but I think I'll throw Alexa Bliss in there she has a pretty good chance of winning. I think she's a really good wrestler. I think her injury she had a while back kind of halted her a little bit and maybe slowed her down. Maybe they didn't want to put her in too many like crazy matches, and this is kind of her first big match. Like, you know, like her big match could be her big chance and her big comeback as well. I could see her winning and getting pushed by the WWE once again, but I'm gonna stick with my prediction. I'm gonna say Asuka's win, and if the Bianca match happens before that, or after that, I think she'll cash in on Bianca if she wins.
Yeah. And for our final match, and what I can only assume is the main event of the match, or of the night, we have Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Omos, Sami Zayn, Riddle, and Madcap Moss for the men's Money in the Bank. And for me, I'm going to give a little bit of reason why I think he's going to win, but I think it'll be Seth Rollins. With my theory with this, I think Seth Rollins wins. He'll hold the Money in the Bank for a while. Now, at either SummerSlam, after the match, I can see him cashing in, or he holds it until WrestleMania. And I could also assume that Cody Rhodes will be back from injury at Royal Rumble. He wins Royal Rumble. He faces either Roman or Brock, whoever it may be. And then Seth comes out, cashes in, and then we have another part of the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins feud. So yeah, that's my reasoning. What about you?
Yeah, I think that that makes sense for sure. But I think I'm actually gonna go with Sami Zayn winning. I just think that he could use a push. I think he hasn't really been pushed in a while, and I think he could use just a WWE title shot, period. I don't know when he'll cash in. I don't really have a prediction for that.
No.
But that's who I'm going to go with. I think it'll be a really interesting match no matter who wins. And honestly, anybody could win this match. I could see Sheamus winning, Omos, obviously Seth Rollins. But if I had to pick 2, my first would be Sami Zayn, and then I'd probably say Seth Rollins. But I think Sami Zayn's going to win. I really do like Sami Zayn. He's been in the company for a while now, and I think he could use a push, and I kind of think he deserves a push too.
Yeah, the only reason why I don't think Sami wins, I don't know if you've really been paying attention with SmackDown, but the way they're kind of using him right now is he's like an honorary member of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And with his plans, what he said on SmackDown tonight was he'll hold the Money in the Bank if he wins, and he'll just save it so Roman Reigns doesn't get cashed in on.
Yeah.
So it could make sense with that. But yeah, I think the other people who have a shot, obviously everybody has a shot, but I think Drew's also another fan favorite to win. Sheamus could win and bring back that 2012 run again. Wouldn't be surprised. Omos could make sense, but I also really want to like that just because, I mean, he's good, but just it reminds me of like a Big Show / Great Khali where they can do a few moves, but it's not the funnest to watch. Riddle, personal favorite, but I think he'll move down. He'll probably get pushed until, or probably like stay down for a while until Randy comes back, and yeah, Randy comes back at probably Royal Rumble as well.
All right, so just to give y'all a rundown one more time, I think Bianca beats Carmella. I think Sami Zayn wins the men's Money in the Bank. I think Asuka wins the women's Money in the Bank, and if the Bianca match is after, I think she'll cash in the same night. I think Natalya beats Ronda Rousey. I think the Usos retain against the Street Profits, and I think Bobby Lashley wins the United States Championship versus Theory.
Yeah, and then I'll say mine as well. Bianca, Seth, Becky Lynch, Ronda, Usos. Even though I would love to have the Street Profits back as the champions, and then Bobby as well. But yeah, besides that, I think this should be a pretty good card. But yeah, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next video.
Yep, later.